I'll always take a good opportunity to talk about a Switch game just because I do enjoy the console so much. Right now, I have been playing like crazy. This bad boy right here, that's actually Hollow Knight. But yeah, I have been playing the shit out of that. But I'm talking about Mario Tennis Aces. I love talking about these games, these Mario spin-off games, these sports games, because they're really good. There's a couple of questions though I want to get into with you guys. I want to know how you guys think about this, how you feel if you play this stuff. But first things first, it's solid. It's really fun. It's easy for pick up and play. There's a new layer of depth with some of the charge shots and the power moves that you can do and the trick shots you can do. All of them feel really rewarding and satisfying, and the way you build up the meter through charge shots and how you spend that meter really adds like kind of an extra level of strategy and kind of like a little bit of chess. Like, when are you going to spend your moves? Are you going to outsmart the other person? You're going to kind of trick them into thinking that you're going to use your move. Stuff like that. Some of it feels like a gamble and some of it feels like strategy, and I like it a lot. Genuinely, it's just fun. It's fast paced. It's designed for like quick pickup and plays, and the gameplay is good. I will say that those little extra levels of trickiness here, if you're playing with like grandma or whatever, you're gonna need to sit her down and teach her a little bit first. You know, if you're playing with more casual people, there's a bit more to learn, but still, down and out, it's really fun. And the single player thing is good too. They finally have like a real single player adventure to play through, and it's not long at all. It's really short. It's like painfully short. But what they do with it is really good. They do all these different types of stages that kind of change things up, how you have to swing. You basically do matches where you have to dodge objects or something blocking the middle of the net, or there are portals going back and forth that will spit your ball out in different directions. Then there's boss battles, like you fight a piranha plant and stuff like that. It's got a lot of good stuff, and it really kind of shakes the formula on its head, but it just feels like it's over before it began, which is a little bit of a bummer. Even still though, I played the hell out of it and I thought it was really fun. I just really wish it was longer, and if it had, you know, more difficulty options and stuff like that. You can also level up your little Mario and the rackets and stuff, and it's nice, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, it's there, it gives you a little bit more to play through, but ultimately it doesn't translate over into any other modes, so it doesn't really matter. But really what I'm here for is the bread and butter. The two modes I get is playing split screen on the TV, which is great, even though you have no choice other than split screen. The options are limited there. But also local play, just like playing with someone else who has a Switch across the room. That stuff is great. We've been doing that a lot here at the Game Ranks office. Really satisfying. And the tournaments are good, especially if you're playing with the CPU. Then you get the full drawn out tennis rules. The matches are longer. Normal matches are streamlined a bit more. Tennis hardcore people, like who really wanted to play real rules, are pissed about that. I've seen some people requesting refunds and stuff. I'm sorry, I just don't know that much about real tennis, so it didn't really bother me. But the tournaments do get pretty challenging, which is nice if you're looking for that once you start mastering the game. Also, online seems to work pretty good. I had lag for a couple matches, but for the most part it's been good, and I've had no problem connecting or anything. And I think that's where the game will find a lot of life, especially with how there are tournaments for the next few months, and just by participating in those tournaments, you unlock one of 3 new characters, which I think is a good way to kind of keep people coming back, because I do think, and I have the same dilemma with this game that I do with something like Mario Kart 8, which is fantastic. The problem is that if you're a solo player like me, where you mostly play kind of lonely, you only play by yourself, you're not the biggest fan of playing online because you just hate getting wrecked by people, so eventually it seems like it dries up, and I've had some pushback from this when I talk about it in like my before you buys and stuff, but like that's the caveat here, is that like something like Mario Tennis Aces or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the gameplay is so good, it's so refined, it's so much fun, but if you're by yourself and you never have anyone to play with, that's where I think Nintendo needs to go back to the drawing board to really figure out how to keep you playing. I think Splatoon 2 did it okay with having a fairly fleshed out single player component and a couple of other different modes to mess around with, but I'm still looking for more with these Mario sports games because they have been on a roll lately. These things have been really good, but I can't help but play them, love the hell out of them, and then eventually when my friends who are playing move on to something else, or, you know, I'm just not into playing online, or when I bring it over a family member's house and we all gather around and then they get really tired of me wrecking them all the time, that's when it just dries up, and I'm just hoping that Nintendo can start to figure out in the future how to keep people playing more. I think the tournament thing is a good step, but I personally want a little more because I do love the gameplay. I'm absolutely in love with it, but I just want to be hooked for longer by myself. Maybe that's a big ask since it is a game, a sport that is focused around social play, a console to a point that's even focused around social play. But I just wanted to put that out there. I kind of want to like start a conversation with you guys, see what you guys think, because I know a lot of you guys out there are on the Nintendo grind all the time. You're playing stuff on Switch. And I want to know if you're in the same boat as me, because a lot of us out there talk about how much we like single player games, but sometimes there are games that we really love the gameplay and we really love to play, but there's just not enough single player stuff for us. Or maybe I'm being stupid and I'm overthinking it. I don't know. I just wanted to start a conversation with you guys, because otherwise the game is fucking really good. I highly recommend it. It's fun. And I'm not usually the biggest Mario Tennis game person. I enjoyed them. I played most of them. So there are like 7 core Mario Tennis games, and I've played about 5 of them. So I'm really into this one. I do highly recommend it, but think about what I said. I want to know if you're feeling the same way about the single player stuff. Really, this is a conversation, so let's talk down there. Let's talk about Mario Tennis, even Mario Kart 8, just stuff like that, down in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Not only that, like what you're feeling, but like what do you think Nintendo can do? What can they add? What types of modes can they provide for people who feel like they burn out on these games a little more quicker than others? Let's talk about this stuff. Let's have a constructive conversation about video games, guys. We can have that on the internet in 2018, right? If you guys did enjoy yapping with me about video games, if you're new, consider subscribing. I really would appreciate that. But as I always say, thank you guys for coming around and listening to me ramble about all this stuff. I appreciate it. I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe because video games.